That's actually something that's going to come up later in the video, but right now, I think I need to feel this beat. So as I was saying, before I was so rudely interrupted by the music, here we are, brave explorers, having moved past the sketch stage and are well off into the line work, getting this neck assembly together or whatnot. See, as I'm putting these lines in, a little bit of transforming, tweaking right there. Never hesitate to tweak. Of course, I guess the trick is learning when you've tweaked enough. And this is coming from someone who is obviously not the steadiest of hand. I tend to carve and shape my lines. I've always been like that, something of a sketch artist, self-professed. I scribble and I eventually get what I'm looking for, and that's not a bad thing. Oh, so here we are, first kernel of wisdom in the video. If you've got some method or technique that gets you what you're looking for, gets you the deal you're trying to achieve or whatnot, and you're not aping or swiping, lean in and get it done. You know, just get that work done. So back to this, and we're now working on the neck again. We get back into the eye gear. You know, I envision this eye gear as being a very advanced version of some serious low tech. I mean, look at the antenna. If this dude can't pick up any kind of radio signals with those things coming out of his head, then I don't know what. I mean, maybe you could just use it like a bludgeoning tool, cock his head and poke somebody in the eye or something, as I'm putting in more lines. And you see, here we are again with the carving and the forming and the shaping. It just works for me. I scribble and scrape and scratch until I get what I want. I see those artists out there that can just hit it with one stroke. I hate those people. Okay, that's a lie. I don't hate them, but I am kind of envious. But eventually, you know, you get over that. It's kind of like a complex, and you just have to move past it. Like we're moving past all the way into these cast shadows now. Adding a little depth, a little definition, giving the character some character. You know, I was thinking the motivations for this when I was coming up with this, my mind fell back into thinking about the pulp heroes of old, you know, like the Shadow and the Spirit. And I say that now realizing that there's people out there who probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Fortunately for you, there's the internet. Be brave and explore it. But back to this, as I'm putting in the flats now. Yeah, I see this as an individual who's willing to take on that role, to, you know, basically go out there and take the law into their own hands. It could be a man or a woman. It doesn't really matter at this stage, especially under all this. How could you even tell as I'm putting in the moon, the glowing moon? But yeah, this person's going out there and they're looking for wrongs to make right and rights to make righter. Yeah. But getting back into something that I had mentioned earlier in the video as we're putting in the background elements, you'll remember or you'll notice that we got past that sketch pretty quickly because it was simple. And now we're putting in the background here, and well, it's pretty simple. And there's something to be said for that. We have a dominant color scheme and really only one real juxtaposition coming from the main character themselves. And everything is kind of following the same monochromatic tone or whatnot, with the exception of our main focus. I waffled back and forth between what kind of effects or design work I wanted to put on the main character themselves. Stripes, zigzags, dots, streaks, until eventually I realized, well, nothing. I'll just leave it as it is. And I think it stands out. And here we are, we're putting in the shadows. This is a situation where I'm actually color picking. I mentioned before that there are many ways to do these kind of things, and I'll be vacillating between various techniques or whatnot. This is just how I'm handling this one. But back to this whole thing with the simple aspect. A friend of mine back in the days said something about simplistic complexity. And I looked at him and I was like, what? But when he broke it down, it made perfect sense. There's something to be said for the whole concept of less is more, you know? Ah, here we are, The Whips. It's like a Devo album. And I just dated myself even further in this video. Way to go, Kay. Way to go. But anyway, let's put in these highlights now. Got to get the character some reflective aspects. And this is one of those situations where I'm using a halo. As you can see as I'm drawing it right now. I don't use that all the time, but it can be effective. Oh, look at what's back here. As we're putting in the last little bits, you see everything following the same color scheme with that one juxtaposition. Simplistic complexity. And with that, I give you the Phantom Sentinel. Hope you had fun, and if so, take the 4 shot.